Hello, everybody. I am so excited to be here today. Thank you so much for joining me. Fingers crossed, this is live. This is my first time doing this, using this platform. So yeah, anyway, hope you can see this. Welcome. My name is Lydia Di Francesco. I am so glad that you have made the time today to come and learn about how to feel better when you're not okay, how to stay sane during a crisis, how to be okay when things are not okay. We're going to get started in a couple of minutes, but first, I'd love for you to post in the chat where you live. If you can share one thing that you're grateful for today. Again, this chat thing's new to me, so I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to see some of your comments. But I am super grateful always for my house, for this space that you see behind me. This is my living room. You can probably see I've got like quite a few plants. They really make me happy. And it's definitely something that brings me joy, which we're going to get into. It's been a rough couple weeks, right? And it's really nice to have a space that I can be in that's calming and that I just like to be in. So hopefully you have a space like that for yourself. I'm just so thankful for you for being here as well. And we're going to just get into it. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Lydia Di Francesco. I'm a wellness specialist. Oh, I've got slides. Let's get into that. There we go. So yeah, how to stay sane during a crisis. This is what we're talking about today. So a little bit about me. So I deliver and create employee wellness programs for organizations who value healthy staff and who promote a culture of well-being. I've worked in the industry for 10 years, and I've really been blessed to have impacted thousands of lives. In the past 2 years in particular, I've done a lot of presentations for companies, for employees on a variety of different wellness topics. And so what I'm sharing with you today are some of the key strategies from 5 to 6 different presentations. And now these presentations are usually 1 hour each. So I've done my very best to consolidate the information as much as possible so we can get as much as possible to you in the next 30 minutes. I won't be able to go in depth in that shorter period of time. But if you are interested in having me present at your workplace, please reach out. I'll be providing my information at the end of the presentation, or you can reach me on whatever channel you're watching me on. I would be happy to talk to you a little bit more. So before we dive into the content, there is one rule that you need to know about and follow, please. No comments of a political nature. This came about urgently because of the situation that is happening in downtown Ottawa, where I live. I have been personally dealing with the ongoing events. I have a lot of views. I have a lot of frustrations, as I'm sure you do too. But today I want to focus on wellness. I want to focus on you and how you can become, a little less stressed. I'm going to be looking at the chat. I can't monitor it too closely while I'm presenting, but I will be deleting any political, negative, or harassing comments. I don't want to see any of that. However, I do welcome other comments, other questions related to wellness. If there's an aha moment for you, I'd love to know that that's resonating with you. So please feel free to write comments in the chat wherever you are watching this. I definitely do welcome that. In terms of some disclaimers, so we are all unique. I'm unique. You're unique. What I'm sharing today are strategies that have worked for me. They've worked for my clients and other people that I've shared them with. However, you need to find what works best for you. And some of these strategies might be okay, and some of them might be like, and some of them might be great. So try things out. There's obviously more that I can't even share today, but you need to find what works best for you. And then I am not a doctor. I am not a mental health professional. If you are really struggling, please seek professional help. There are a lot of people out there who are ready 24/7 to help you. Take a screenshot of this slide if you want these resources. There's phone numbers, there's texting. And of course, if you're in immediate danger, call 911. But please do reach out to the various organizations and people that are there to support you. Now, The most important point that I want to make today is this: do whatever you need to do to protect your mental health and well-being. Right now, nothing is more important than that. So if that means you need to take a break from social media or doom scrolling, not listen to the news, not talking about the crisis, taking time off work, having a nap, going on a walk, rage cleaning, whatever, do the thing, don't do the thing. You and your well-being are the most important thing right now. That is where your focus needs to be. If you need help and support, like I said, ask for it. Hopefully you have some people in your life who are happy to support you. If not, there are strangers ready to help you. And I will share that resource slide again at the end. So I want to share a very quick summary about what happens in your body when it senses danger. So when we're exposed to perceived or real threats, our brain springs into action, and it's specifically the tiny almond-shaped thing called the amygdala. And this is your body's warning system. And it only has two settings. It's a very primitive warning system: danger and no danger. Okay, so when your body senses this danger, the amygdala senses danger, it preps your body accordingly. It does this by flooding your body with hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Your heart rate goes up. You feel super alert in a really focused way. Your breathing probably goes shallow. Your muscles are ready for action. So it's literally your body prepping yourself to fight or flight, right? Run away. And so this is handy when you're actually in a dangerous situation. But unfortunately, your brain doesn't know the difference between actual danger and other forms of stress, like psychological stress, which is what a lot of us are going through right now. So when your body's in fight or flight mode, there are some cognitive, physical, and behavioral reactions that happen to you. So you may notice some physical changes like upset stomach, headaches, insomnia, right? Like how many people are having trouble sleeping, changes to your eating. So whether you're eating a lot or you're not eating, changes to the way you talk, nausea, fatigue, and so on. There's also cognitive things that happen. So you may be finding you're having trouble thinking straight. It's when you have to make decisions, it's so challenging. Absorbing information, processing information, your memory is affected. All these things happen. You may also see behaviors like withdrawal or hiding, yelling, arguing, or maybe even avoiding basic healthy habits. And I'm sharing these reactions with you for two reasons. One, so you realize that these are normal reactions to stress and that you're not alone in having these reactions. And two, so that you are aware of the reactions and are better able to answer the following question: does this cause a stress response? And this is a question that you need to be asking yourself probably multiple times throughout the day right now. Does this cause a stress response? And if the answer is yes, just don't do it, or take a break if you can. Another way to look at it is what is causing a stress response and identifying those things. Now, for those of you who are in Ottawa and are dealing with a current crisis or dealing with your own crisis, you may not be able to take a break from that. And so I'm talking about the other things in life that you do have some control over, right? So just as an example for me, I've decided like I am not reading the news right now. I'm limiting my time on social media very much. I'm there briefly, but not a lot. I've actually deleted from my phone, I deleted the Facebook and Twitter apps. So I'm not tempted to log in and scroll. Like I know that I don't have that self-control. If the app is there, I will log in. And so I just removed the temptation and deleted it completely. That's the kind of things that I mean. Like if there's things, and I'm going to get into this, but if there's things that are causing a stress response, you need to realize that and then acknowledge it and do something about it, as in don't do this and that thing. So let's get back to fight or flight. So it's extremely likely that your body has been in a fight or flight state for the past 2 weeks or even longer. To be honest, with this whole pandemic, I think people have been in a fight or flight state for probably like 2 years, which is really sad to say. Um, so here's what happens. This is why, in part, you are exhausted and overwhelmed, and life feels like it's so much right now because your body is not designed to be in this state for a long period of time. That's not how it's meant to be. The fight or flight response is meant to be for those like immediate real danger, running away from a bear, right? Situations. And then you get back to rest and reset. So what your goal needs to be is to do what you can to get your body out of fight or flight mode and into rest and reset state. So you may have heard sympathetic nervous system, that's your fight or flight state, and then parasympathetic nervous system, that's your rest and reset state. So I'm going to cover some ways to do that, but I want you to keep that in the back of your mind, that that is part of your goal right now, is to have moments of time in your day when you are actually physically out of the fight or flight mode. And so just going to go back a slide here, a few slides. When you have these reactions, that's when you're in fight or flight mode. We want to take your body into more of a calm, relaxed state. Okay. So how do we do that? I've kind of alluded to this basically in some of the things that I've talked about already, but boundaries. Boundaries are so key. I've actually become a huge believer in boundaries. I wasn't always this way. And really, to be honest, I still need to work on this. I still need to remind myself of what my boundaries are. I'm a recovering perfectionist and people pleaser. So this is probably always something I'm going to have to deal with and remind myself about. But basically, when I say to do whatever you need to do to protect your mental health and well-being, one of the key ways to do that is by setting boundaries. So like I mentioned, you want to pay attention to what triggers a stress response. Does it happen when you're in a certain environment, reading or watching the news, being too long on social media, when you interact with specific people even? When you notice your triggers, that's when you need to decide what type of boundary is appropriate and what do you need to do in order to reduce your stress response in that situation. Now listen, I don't need to give you permission, but in case you need to hear this, you have every right to set boundaries for yourself with things and with people. I'm going to share this next slide and I want you to screenshot this to give yourself permission to set the boundaries that you need. And you can complete this sentence for however many things you need boundaries for. To protect my time and energy, it's okay to blank. And I gave you some examples there that you can see. Now, I'll be really honest. Setting boundaries is not always easy, especially if it involves people. In particular, if it involves family members, which I know even personally I have in my own life, and I know a lot of people have family members that may have different opinions, perspectives than them. But I can guarantee you that with the right boundaries for you, it will help reduce your stress response. So this is a really, really key one. Take some time. If you aren't sure what kind of boundaries you need to set, just think about it. You don't need to know right now, but it's definitely something that you need to be doing. Next up, laughter and joy. Seek this out in your life. There's a reason for the saying that laughter is like medicine. Like exercise, it releases endorphins and it can lighten up your mood. And I mean, thank God for the internet. There can be a lot of vile, horrible things on the internet, but there's also a lot of really positive, funny things on the internet. Memes, jokes, stand-up comedy. Even if you're rolling around with your kids or with nieces and nephews or whatever, watching videos on YouTube, on Instagram, wherever, it can be hard to find humor these days and in your day-to-day. So you actually need to seek it out. If it's not there, you have to purposely go and find it. So I make it a point, and it's a priority, to watch something funny every single day. My go-tos right now are James Corden and The Late Late Show. I love his monologues. They're really funny. And I'm also rewatching episodes of Frasier. It's totally my kind of humor. You might have different things that you like. Find what brings you laughter in your life. And by laughter, I literally mean laughing out loud. Like there's some shows that are funny, but you're like, it's kind of like you sort of laugh internally. I want you to find the things that actually produce a physical response in your body. You are laughing out loud. This is very important. You also want to ask yourself, what brings me joy? So is it being outside in nature? Is it being creative, doing crafts or other things? It could be cooking or baking. For me, it's something like 90s dance music. Dance Mix 95 is one of my favorite albums. And anytime I put that on, it just instantly lightens up my mood. Same for little giggles from my nieces and nephews. It's really honestly different for everybody. Everybody has different things that bring them joy. And I encourage you to find out what it is that brings you joy and then do it daily if possible. And if you want to share what brings you joy in the comments, I'd love to hear it. If you have any links to particularly funny things that you've seen, please share them. I'm all about laughing and finding things that are funny. So next up, I want to talk about deep breathing. This is one of the most key things that you can be doing to help bring you out of fight or flight mode and into rest and reset mode. I know it can seem really basic, but deep breathing, it works in minutes, literally, and you can do it anywhere. You don't have to be anywhere in particular. You don't have to be sitting down or lying down or whatever. You can be in any kind of position you want to be in. And it works because out of all the physical reactions the amygdala triggers, breathing is the only one over which we have conscious control. So by controlling your breathing, you're basically telling your body that it's okay. We're kind of signaling to the amygdala that there isn't really a danger, that we can calm down that natural stress response. The body will dial down that cortisol, the adrenaline, the other reactions will slow down. And, again, we can bring our body into that calm state. So I want to take a minute right now and actually practice this. So if you're sitting, standing, whatever position you're in, if you feel like closing your eyes, that's cool. We're going to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth slowly. So I like to close my eyes. So I'm just going to breathe in and breathe out. Nice big breath. You want to be breathing into your tummy, not just your chest. So you want to imagine when you're breathing in that you're expanding your whole body. You're thinking about even your sides and your back. So everything kind of in that diaphragm area and in your lower abdomen is opening and expanding. And box breathing is a really great way to focus your mind on your breath. And you do that by breathing in for 4 seconds, holding for 4 seconds, breathing out again through the mouth, nice and loud, for 4 seconds, and then pause for 4 seconds. And I find when you do the box breathing, because you're sort of counting the seconds, it allows you to pay attention to the breath as opposed to your mind wandering. And if you do deep breathing, honestly, even just for 2 minutes, it will make a huge difference. I did a post the other day where I talked about breathing when you go to the bathroom. Might sound a little bit weird or funny, but it actually can be a really good trigger, right? When you're in the bathroom, leave your phone away. Don't bring it in the bathroom with you, and just use that time, even if it's just a minute, to take some nice deep breaths, calm the body down. So along with deep breathing comes meditation. They often go hand in hand. Of course, when you're doing meditation, you're usually breathing deeply. Meditation's become quite popular. A lot of people have tried it. If it's something new to you, I suggest starting with a small amount of time, even 5 minutes. Personally, I like to do a guided meditation. You don't have to do meditation with music or with anybody talking. But for me, it allows me to focus on what the speaker's saying in my ears versus my own thoughts. There's a lot of free apps out there, Insight Timer, Calm, Headspace. YouTube has a lot of meditations. You can always just search, and a lot of times you can even filter for different types of voices, and if you want music and the theme of the meditation. So there's a lot of really great options out there. And again, you could choose something very short or something longer if you prefer. I really don't believe there's a right or wrong way to do meditation. And for me, it's not about trying to clear your mind and completely have no thoughts. Like, I really think that's not possible, but it's about not holding on to the thoughts that you have. So I like to envision it like my thoughts are clouds in the sky, and I see them. I see the thought, but it's just kind of, it's a windy day, right? So the clouds are just going by me. Again, that's for me how I like to view meditation. But it definitely something that I encourage you to do, especially in the evening. This can be a really great way to bring some calm and relaxation to your body. The next piece I want to talk about is gratitude. So, gratitude is really all about the practice of being thankful and having readiness to show appreciation. The cool thing about gratitude is that there's actual scientific evidence that proves that regularly expressing gratitude literally changes the molecular structure of your brain. We know there's a lot of research on neuroplasticity. If that's something new to you, do a little Google search or on YouTube and read some articles or watch some videos about it. It's really very interesting. Gratitude can help make you happier. It can help boost your immune system, make you more productive. I personally have been having a gratitude practice for about the last, well, even more than the past 2 years, even before the pandemic started. And I really found, like, I can't even explain to you the difference that it's had in my life. I start my day with gratitude. I have a journal. I just take a few minutes every morning and I write down just whatever comes to mind in terms of what I'm grateful for that day. And it's a small, simple thing, but it can truly make a big, big difference in your day. I find it can help shift your mindset. And it really honestly is just something that can be very helpful, very beneficial, and doesn't even take very long to do. So highly encourage you to do it. If you want to take a minute right now, not even a minute, 20 seconds, and jot down something that you're grateful for in the comments. I know there was some people that I saw earlier that were grateful for the beautiful sunny day. Absolutely. Anytime the sun is shining is a good day for me. So that's what I want to share about gratitude. Next, I want to talk about focusing on what we have control over. And a big part about stress and why we often feel stressed is that it comes about when there are things that happen that we don't have control over. And really, there's a lot going on right now that we don't have control over. And that can feel very, very overwhelming. It can feel extremely frustrating. You can get angry about it. And those are all extremely valid feelings. But it's important to also focus on what you do have control over. So you have control over your attitude and your mindset, how you treat yourself, how you treat others, your values, your thoughts, the words that you use out loud or in your mind, your surroundings, what you feed your mind and body and spirit. There's a lot more. If you Google things I have control over, there's a lot of great graphics that you can find, even if you need to save one as a screensaver on your phone to remind yourself. But from this list, I do want to touch on a very practical one, which is your surroundings. So is your environment like this, full of clutter and stuff? That can feel really overwhelming, either subconsciously or consciously. You can feel anxious. Clutter can be physical. It could also be digital. It could even be emotional, such as the beliefs that might be holding you back. And so I encourage you to think about, in your house, in your physical space, what are the one or two biggest, what I call clutter offenders? It doesn't have to mean it's the biggest clutter, but what bothers you the most? What do you maybe see the most? And I encourage you to spend some time and declutter that space. So for example, like I mentioned at the beginning, this is my living room. This is also my office. And so for me, it's really important to keep this space clean. When there's a lot of visual clutter, it's harder for me to focus. So this is one small thing that you can do to help alleviate some of the anxiety in your mind, just from a visual perspective in your space. So I encourage you, again, set priority areas that you want to strive to keep clean and tidy on a regular basis. Your workspace could be one of them, perhaps even your bedroom. For me, there's spaces that, like my kitchen, I'm hardly in the kitchen. So if it's cluttery, it's less of a problem for me. My bedroom and my workspace are the top priorities for me. But it's, again, think about what's the most important for you. and really trying to keep that space clean and tidy. Decluttering is also a great way to distract yourself. Again, throw on some fun music and get to cleaning and organizing. And I think for most people, they find that it makes them feel good after. You also feel productive and like you've accomplished something. Lastly, I want to talk about sleep and naps. I'm sure that many of you are having issues with sleep. This is very common, especially if you're in that high stress mode all day. Our circadian rhythm is very reactive to stress. So it's going to impact your biological clock if you have elevated cortisol for too much during the day, right? Where cortisol levels are high, we're alert, we're energized, sort of, even though we're exhausted. So when that cortisol level is elevated, it's hard for your circadian rhythm to be functioning properly. And this is why I've been sharing ways for you to lower your stress throughout the day. And it's especially important to do this at night. Now, I give an entire hour-long presentation just on sleep strategies. So I only have time to highlight a couple for you. You've got this list here. Grab a screenshot, keep it with you. Message me if you want more of the sleep tips. But from this list, I want to highlight 3 key ones. Dimming your lights before, like in the evening, 8:30, 9, around that time. Again, we want to be signaling to your body that it's nighttime so it can release melatonin. I don't have time to go into all the science about it, but basically with artificial lighting, we're signaling to our body that it's daytime and it's keeping us awake longer. So dim your lights. Guarantee you this is going to make a difference in helping you feel more sleepy. Also, the other ones I want to highlight are getting off your electronics and winding down before bedtime. Getting off electronics and stopping work, stopping other activities helps to slow down the stimulus to your brain. Again, we are signaling to our body that it's time to rest. A lot of times we wait for our body to be tired, or and I know it's like we are tired, we're exhausted, but we're wired, right? So we need to create the right environment for our body to realize that it's bedtime. And when our body realizes that it's bedtime, it will work more to shut down. It will help you to get into that rest and reset state. So that's the big points that I want to make today. I want to be mindful of the time. I do want to share this again, which is right now, do whatever you need to do to protect your mental health and well-being. If you want to grab this screenshot, this is from We the Urban, which is a great account on Instagram. I highly recommend following them. This really good list about things, good reminders to love yourself, be kind. I really like the give yourself credit. That's so important these days. We are all doing our best. No, you are probably not at 100%. And I realize for a lot of people, especially the type A high performers in the crowd, can I get what? Right? Like it's hard for us. It's hard to not be feeling your best. It's hard to not be 100%. But you just, you have to kind of accept that you just can't be right now with your circumstances, and you have to give yourself credit for what you can do and for what you are able to do, and just keep that as a reminder to yourself. I do want to share that resource slide again. Don't be shy again to reach out to friends, reach out to professionals. They're there for you. And lastly, I want to encourage you to stay in touch. If what I've said has resonated with you and you want to learn more, please reach out. I'd be happy to come to your workplace to present. Like I said, this presentation was based on about 5 to 6 one-hour presentations. I'm super proud of myself for being able to share as much as I have with you in the 30 minutes that we had today. But there's a lot more that I have to share, a lot more strategies, a lot more tools. So please do reach out if you would like me to come and share that with your workplace. Thank you so much again for joining me. I really appreciate you taking the time. I'm really thankful that you took the time to be here with me today. Please drop a comment. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if there was something that resonated with you. If you want to message me privately because you don't want to post it publicly, that's totally fine. I'm open to that. I wish you a wonderful day, and please do take care of yourself. Take care. Bye.